Is is getting big and big day by day. I have no idea what's going on. A real asset is laptop, not phone. Linda less is more. Quasi Trump statistics. I think I heard. Regression to the mean. I think I have to go through regression to the mean. Can I read good books? If I start reading, then I have to finish it. Uh, I had one of the most satisfying eureka experience of my career while teaching flight instructors in the Israeli Air Force about psychology of effective training. I was telling them about an important principle of skill training rewards for improved performance work better than punishment of mistakes. This proposition is supported by much evidence from research on pigeons, rats, humans, and other animals. When I finished my enthusiastic speech, on one of the most seasoned instructors in the group raised his hands and made a short speech of his own. He began by conceding that rewarding improved performance might be good for the birds, but he denied that it was optimal for flight cadets. This is what he said. On many occasions, I have praised flight cadets for clean execution of some aerobatic maneuver. The next time they try the same maneuver, they usually revert. On the other hand, I have often screamed into a cadet's earphone for bad execution, and in general, he does better on his next try. So please don't tell us that reward works and punishment does not, because the opposite is the case. Hello everyone, welcome to the live stream. I hope you are doing very good in your life. Let me know how are you doing and where are you watching me from. This was a joyous moment of insight when I saw in a new light a principle of statistics that I had been teaching for years. The instructor was right, but he was also completely wrong. His observation was astute and correct. Occasions on which he praised a performance were likely to Shelley Dewsbury. Hello, welcome, and hi. An imprint. But the inference he had drawn about the efficacy of reward and punishment was completely off the mark. What he had observed is known as regression to the mean, which is that case was due to random fluctuations in the quality of performance. Naturally, he praised only a cadet far better than cadet was probably yes lucky on that particular attempt and therefore likely to deteriorate regardless of whether or not he was praised. Similarly, the instructor would shout into a cadet's earphones only when the cadet's performance was unusually bad and therefore likely to improve regardless of what the instructor did. The instructor had attached a casual interpretation to the inevitable fluctuation of a random process. Hi, hello, and welcome to the live stream, everyone, whoever watching me. I hope you are doing really good in your life. The challenge called for a response, but a lesson in the algebra of prediction would not be enthusiastically received. Instead, Instead, I used chalk to mark a target on the floor. I asked every officer in the room to turn his back to the target and throw two coins at it in immediate succession without looking. We measured the distance from the target and wrote the two results of each contestant on the blackboard. Then we rewrote the results in order from the best of the worst performance of the first try. It was apparent that most, but not all, of those who had done best the first time deteriorated on their second try, and those who had done poorly on the first time generally improved. I pointed out the instruction that what they saw on the board considered with what we had heard about the performance of aerobatic maneuvers on successive attempts. Performance was typically followed by improvement and good performance by deterioration without any help from either praise or punishment. Sorry. Hello, welcome to the live stream. The discovery I made that day was that the instructors were trapped in an unfortunate contingency because they punished cadets when performance was poor. They were mostly rewarded by a subsequent improvement. Oh, sorry, a punishment was actually ineffective. Furthermore, the instructors were not alone in the predicament. I had stumbled into a significant fact of the human condition, the feedback to which life exposes us is perverse. Because we tend to be nice to other people when they please us and nasty when they do not. We are statistically punished for being nice and rewarded for being nasty. Hello and welcome to the live stream. I hope you are doing amazing in your life. You can say hi in the chat and I would love to interact with you. Ah, back pain. Talent and luck. A few years ago, John Brockman, who edits the online magazine Edge, asked a number of scientists to report their favorite question. These were my offerings. Success is equal to talent plus luck. Great success is equal to a little more talent plus a lot of luck. The unsurprising idea that luck often contributes to success has surprising consequences when we apply it to the first 2 days of a high level golf tournament. To keep things simple, assume that on both days the average score of the competitors was above 72. We focus on a player who did very well on the first day, closing with a score of 66 when 66. What can we learn from that excellent score? An immediate inference is that the golfer is more talented than the average participant in the tournament. The formula for success suggests that another inference is equally justified. The golfer who did so well on day one probably enjoyed better than average luck on that. If you accept that talent and luck both contribute to success, the conclusion that the successful golfer was lucky is as warranted as the conclusion that he is talented. By the same token, if you focus on a player who scored 5 over par on that day, you have reason to infer both that he is rather weak and had a bad day. Of course, you know that neither of these inference is certain. It is entirely possible that the player who scored 77 is actually very talented but had an exceptionally dreadful day. Uncertain though they are, the following inferences from the score on day one are plausible and will be correct more often than they are wrong. Above average score on day one is equal to above average talent plus lucky on day one, and below average score on day one is equal to below average talent plus unlucky on day one. Now suppose you know a golfer's score on day one and are asked to predict his score on day two. You expect the golfer to retain the same level of talent on the second day. So your best guesses will be above average or the first player and below average for the second player. Luck, of course, is a different matter. Since you have no way of predicting the golfer luck on the second day, your best guess must be that it will be average, neither good or nor bad. This means that in the absence of any other information, your best guess above the player's score on day 2 should not be repeat of their performance on day 1. This is the most you can say. The golfer who did well on day 1 is likely to be successful on day 2 as well, but less than on the first attempt on the first, because the unusual luck he probably enjoyed on day 1 is unlikely to hold. The golfer who did poorly on day 1 will probably be below average on day 2 but will improve because his probable streak of bad luck is not like to continue. Hello for being here in the live stream. I just want to say welcome to the live stream, and if you want to talk with me or want to say anything, you can say hi in the chat and I can uh, chat with you there. Welcome everyone. Live stream. I'm just enjoying it so much. We also expect the difference between the two golfers to shrink on the second day. Although our best guess is that the first player will still do better than second. My students were always surprised to hear that the best predicted performance on day 2 is more moderate, closer to the average than the evidence on which it is based. The score on day 1. This is why the pattern is called regression to the mean. The more extreme the original score, the more regression we expect, because an extremely good score is just a very lucky day. The regressive prediction is reasonable, but its accuracy is not guaranteed. If you have the golfer who scored 66 on day 1 will do even better on the second day. If their luck improves, most will do worse because their luck will no longer be above average. Now let us go against the time arrow, arrange the players by their performance on day 2 and look at their performance on day 1. You will find precisely the same pattern of regression to the mean. The golfers who did best on the day 2 were probably lucky on their day, and the best guess is that they had been less lucky and had done less well on day 1. Hi, Abu Jar Shirani. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the live stream. I was thinking nobody's joining my live stream, but you guys joined the live stream. I just want to say welcome and hi, everyone. Right now, I'm reading book Thinking Fast and Slow. It's written by Daniel Kahneman, and it is such an amazing book. To be honest, it's so much about mind and lots of stuff. Oh my God, I'm just getting astonishing after reading the words that I am getting inside this book. So, if you have any question, if you want to subscribe, if you want to like the live stream, you can like and whatever, it's your choice. If you want to chat, you can say hi. The fact that you obviously observe regression where you predict an early event from a later event should help convince you that regression does not have a causal explanation. Regression effects are ubiquitous, and so are misguided casual stories to explain them. A well-known example is the Sports Illustrated jinx, the claim that an athlete whose picture appears on the cover of the magazine is doomed to perform poorly the following season. Overconfidence and the pressure of meeting high expectations are often offered as explanation, but there is a simpler account of the jinx. An athlete who gets to be on the cover of Sports Illustrated must have performed exceptionally well in the preceding season, probably with the assistance of energy from luck, and luck is fickle. I happened to watch the men Billy Russington. Hi, welcome back to the live stream. It's ski jump event in the Winter Olympics. White Amos and I were writing an article about intuitive prediction Each athlete has two jumps in the event, and the results are combined. So I don't know. Okay. Actually, I do regularly, but yesterday I have no plan of doing live stream, so I'm doing again today. What did I miss? There is not much before that. It is just only 15 minutes in the live stream. I'm just reading the book, and there is no one to interact with me in the chat, so I don't able to interact much. So if you want to ask something, anything you have to say, you can say. I'm reading a book, Thinking Fast and Slow. It's an international bestseller written by Daniel Kahneman. Uh, he is the winner of the Nobel Prize. The commentator had obviously detected a regression to the mean and had invented a causal story for which there was no evidence. The story itself could even be true. Perhaps if we measure the athlete's pulse before each jump, we might find that they are indeed more relaxed after a bad first jump, and perhaps not. The point to remember is that the change from the first to the second jump does not need a causal explanation. It is the mathematically inevitable consequence of the fact that luck played a role in the outcome of the first jump. Not a very satisfactory story. We would all prefer a casual account, but that is all there is. But you see, is all there is. So, do you like reading? Do you get really into it? Yeah, I really love reading. Yes, I'm just enjoying it so much right now, to be honest. Feeling good after reading it. Well, this chapter is a bit long. No, it's not long. Oh, it's. I still have four, five and a half pages to read. Well, I have got dyslexia. Oh, I got the dyslexia. I got you. I read it somewhere. I got dyslexia. Can you explain a bit? Oh, I see. Dyslexia. It means misspell some words and you read B instead of D, something like that, or something else. Is that true? It's a reading problem. Actually, I was reading a book like I think Mindset or Grit. Somewhere I read it in a book. I was reading a book, and there I do you know what what is it means? I think I had read both the words, but I have no idea. I got it. Oh, I got you. I got you. What problem do you face mainly? Have a, have a good day.